Welcome boys and girls. In today's video we're going to be doing more LS prep on the Squarebody. We're going to be installing the Crossmember and motor mount kit from Offroad Design. So let's get into it. Before we fully get started on installing everything, let's go over everything that comes in the kit. So this is the Offroad Design Crossmember and motor mount kit. Comes with everything you possibly need, good set of directions, bushings, and all of the hardware that you need to install it. Comes with a thick set of brackets that bolt to the block. For the Gen 3 LS swap kit that I picked up, it does have adjustment holes to push the motor forward a little bit or keep it in the stock location. Then it comes with a very heavy duty set of motor mounts that bolt to the brackets that are on the frame already. So this is everything you possibly need. With the Crossmember, it does kind of tie it all in as a, extremely heavy duty Crossmember setup. It bolts to the mounts that bolt to the frame on the sides and on the bottom, and then this part bolts to the frame itself. As you can see, I have done some modifications to the Crossmember just to make it easier to install for me. But in the directions, it gives you everything you need to properly install this on your truck with no issues. So now that we've gone over all of it, let's get to mocking it up on the frame and getting everything prepped so then we could get all this painted and get it all bolted in. All right, you guys, so we're getting the Crossmember in. I know the directions for the Crossmember itself says to mark out spots on the frame for the holes on the Crossmember. What I'm gonna do, just to make my life a lot easier trying to get in here with a drill to drill out these holes, is I'm going to mark out the Crossmember with the holes that are already on the frame, and I will just drill out the Crossmember itself just to make it a lot easier on me. I know they kind of, wanted you to do it a certain other way, marking out the frame and drilling the holes that are on the Crossmember. But doing it like this will make it a lot easier for me because of the steering and everything that is in the way and trying to get in there with my drill. So I will tighten up these bolts, get it all in place, and then mark out the holes on the Crossmember itself to drill out the holes on it, and then make these holes larger, and everything should line up and bolt right in. All right, now that we got that drilled out, let's see how it fits. Get that in place. I'll just hold it in place and drop the bolts in. All right, let's see. Boom. This side's good. Perfect. And then let's line up this side. This hole I got to make larger. This front hole, I got to hit that with the drill and make it larger. But middle and back. These back bolts do share with the motor mount itself, and then the motor mount bolts to this. So it'll box all this in, so it'll be more than strong enough. So with these two bolt holes being close together and the Crossmember going about 2 inches further than this hole, we should not be compromising strength whatsoever. Everything should fit just fine and be more than strong enough. I just drilled out the Crossmember to make my life easier, but if it is easier for you to drill out the frame, I definitely suggest that over drilling the Crossmember itself. Those look good. Motor mounts and Crossmember have the first coat on them. I need to let them dry for a while. They are still pretty wet. So I'm going to let them dry to a good point, and then I'm going to put some hooks on them and hang them up in the shipping container just so they could fully cure and be good to go. And then I could flip them over and paint the backside and whatever I have missed. And next day or so, they should be good to go, and then we could get to installing these. We have let all the mounts and the Crossmember dry for the past few days. Everything is dry to the touch and not sticky whatsoever. So it is ready to install on the truck. So I'm going to move everything over to the truck, get it all staged and set up, and then we can start bolting this stuff in. All right, boys and girls, I got the motor mount brackets just loosely bolted up. So we can kind of piece everything together, and then I could snug it all together and torque it all down. So the first step is, since I got these on, I will flip this around and kind of sort of get that in place. It's going to be just kind of trying to make all of this work. So I'll take the first bolt and get it in place. I know I have all those washers that I will need to start using once I throw this thing around. Kind of get that just snug on there so it's hanging, and then I could get this one in place through here. Oh, this thing holds a total of 12 bolts, and it shares bolts with the if I can get that in there, with the back motor mount piece here. It shares a bolt with that, so it kind of helps tie it all in together. So once I get this one in place and it's hanging freely, then I could start putting the rest of the bolts in. So I think I just got to kind of thread this one through the hole here. All right, so we are good to go. Everything is finger tight and good. So now I'm going to tighten everything up. The plan now is to do all of the bolts that hold the bracket and the cradle to the frame itself. And then from there, we will tighten these up. Then after that, we will get in here with the torque wrench and torque everything to the desired torque spec. Then from there, we could start installing the motor mounts onto the brackets themselves. All right, the next step is, after having the Crossmember, I had to remove these bolts because it actually shares the bolt with the motor mount. So the plan now is to get the motor mount in place, get the bolts finger tight for the top and the bottom. The top bolts are a Allen head. So I got an Allen key to hold it in place while I tighten the bolt from the bottom. And the plan now, get everything in place, finger tight, and then we could start checking it out and getting everything torqued down. Well, got the motor mount on and the bolts all tight and good to go, all snugged down and torqued. If Offroad Design ever watches this video, please replace these hex head bolts with just some regular grade 8 bolts to make it a lot easier to torque these down and not use a Allen wrench. But other than that, these went on really easy. They look really good, and I'm extremely happy with them. So I got this one on, good to go. Next step is this one, and then we are all done with this little project. Well, everything is installed, torqued down, and good to go. Pretty straightforward process. Instructions were extremely clear and simple. No motor in the truck obviously makes it the easiest of installs, but even with the motor in the vehicle, it should be pretty straightforward and a pretty easy process. So I am extremely happy with it. It will add the needed strength to the front of the truck just so we don't have any issues in the future, and it will be more than enough strength for the LS that I will be throwing in this truck. So I am very happy with it. And if you guys have gotten this far, thank you so much for watching. I will leave a link to this kit down below. Also, comment down below if you have used this kit or planning to use this kit, and like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye, you guys.